Our first story of the morning goes to Linda McMahon, or technically Donald Trump, who told Linda McMahon to put herself out of a job, and she's about to do that. Trump is going to sign an executive order today to shut down the U.S. Department of Education. Now, this is going to happen, expect to be today, if not probably tomorrow, fulfilling a longstanding conservative objective to get rid of the Department of Education. Move aims to transfer education authority back to the individual states, allowing for localized control over crucial policies. Now, this is a full dismantling of the department that really needs congressional approval because it needs a congressional act to actually put into place. So you got to go actually get Congress to vote on this eventually. But putting the work in to basically not have it effective, that's something that anybody can do in charge, and Linda McMahon's job is to do that right now. Opponents are arguing that eliminating the Department of Education could exacerbate educational disparities, particularly affecting low-income and marginalized communities. The department oversees about $1.6 trillion in student loan portfolios and administers funding for various programs, including supporting students with disabilities. Now, disbanding the agency may disrupt essential services, leading to increased inequity in educational opportunities. Shutdown faces legal and political challenges, of course. Democratic state attorney generals are already filing lawsuits to keep this from going. Because here's the reality of the Department of Education. They don't really manage the schools, which is why they're trying to put the decisions in the hands of the states, which unfortunately aren't doing so great in doing decisions some places. Most of the states that actually get the most funding from the Department of Education and basically from the government are states that tend to vote for red things and tend to vote for themselves and things that aren't really good for themselves, vote against their interests. They're literally lower in education, so they get more funding. And this funding goes to, for particularly schools, primary schools, elementary schools, whatnots, that cover things like special education or English as second language programs, or folks that have disabilities. And in colleges, of course, Pell Grants and student loans and those things like that. Without the proper handling of the private education to make sure things are equitable, not necessarily fair, but equitable, things will be a whole lot less fair and equitable going forward. Now, right now, we're seeing a bunch of crunches where you cannot actually choose to do income-based repayments on student loans. That's going to be a crunch on a lot of folks having to go back and repay things that they're not paying for a while. And of course, there's a lot of rumblings in higher education where I actually work. What do these things actually mean for folks who are getting their Pell Grants and getting their loans and money coming to our institutions? Because part of the money comes from the states, the governments, to make things work. This is a bigger deal. It's going to be a really big, consequences be damned type of thing going forward once it's done. But this is something that Trump has promised to give the states more decision in their states' rights in education. I know here in Arkansas, we just had a bill passed for our education for school-age kids. And it ain't great, but it's what we have.